Everybody, welcome to a Thursday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. I'm here with comedians known as Talent and Fig. These guys have been in the game for such a long time. They've been comedy films, comedy specials, comedy TV shows. They've been everything related and affiliated with comedy. Now they're in a comedy sports talk show. So, this is where we have a lot of fun. So, first of all, how you guys doing today? Talent, how you doing?
Absolutely splendid, my brother. Splendid.
Oh, that's a good thing. Fig, you doing splendid too?
Splendid. What kind of word is splendid? I'm good. Oh, here we go. He said splendid. I'm fair to middling.
Fair to middling.
I ain't gonna ask. Let's get this show started. Normally, I talk about a COVID report, and the only COVID report I have to say today is that yesterday we were talking about Ohio State. There was talking about Ohio State because of their COVID issues, not having 6 games played to be in the college football playoffs. It looks like now they might not even make it because there's a lot of money being discussed, but there's a lot of people against Ohio State breaking the rules, so to speak, or bending the rules so they can make it. So there's that. Looks like that might not happen. But I wanted to jump in to talk about that and get that out of the way clearly. But I also wanted to talk about the NFL and talk about the NBA, a couple other sports. So I'm going to start first today. I'm going to start with the NBA because later on we got to do our NFL picks, right? So maybe we got to do the picks, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
We got to do that. And then tomorrow's top dogs. So that's what we always do every week. But now, since the NBA preseason is kicking off tomorrow night, all right? You know me, I want to start doing the awards and stuff real early. So I'm going to start with you, Talon. I'm going to ask you this question. If at the end of the season, right, we already have an idea that the NBA MVP probably will be Giannis or LeBron, right?
Okay.
Who do you think would be the third person in that NBA, so to speak?
Kawhi.
Okay.
I think that because of what happened this past season, like I said, if anybody got some get back to get this season coming up, it's Kawhi. And I don't think he's going to like the reaction he got from losing this season, not playing up to par that people put him on. You got to realize you 1 season removed from being argumentatively the best dude in the game.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you disappoint beyond disappointment.
Right.
So
I like that pick. I like that pick because I also think that it's going to be a player who has something to prove. My pick will surprise both of you all. I'm going for Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant, he was clearly, because of last year, he was clearly the rookie of the year. But I think that dude is such a beast. I think he's going to even grow further. As you grow every year. Last year, he was phenomenal last year, and that was his first year in the league. I think he's going to take a bigger step. And probably, I think he might even supersede Kawhi. But Fig, who's your number 3? Because like I said, it's going to probably be Giannis and LeBron for 1 and 2. But who would be number 3 in your eyes?
Well, I'm a shock both of you. I'm going out on the limb with KD, Kevin Durant. If the Brooklyn Nets come back and they take over the East, they're gonna give a lot of praise to Kevin Durant for coming off the Achilles because right before Kevin Durant got injured, they were saying that he was the best player in the game. They was, because he went head to head with LeBron, beat him, 2 years in a row. And before he tore his Achilles, he was on his way to three-peat. And everybody knows, or everybody is saying that had he not got injured and Golden State stayed healthy, they would have beat the hell out of Toronto. Yeah, and they would have had a three-peat. So I'm looking at KD to make it happen.
Okay. I think that's a good pick. I just think it's a lot to ask for him first season back off that injury to be at the top of the crop.
Yeah, to be MVP, or at least in the top 3 of the MVP. Yeah. I think so too. But hey, stranger things have happened because some players, it's not like getting an Achilles like how it was before. Like he literally could, because now the way things are coming back with obviously the technology and stuff like that right now, it's not an impossibility. Next thing I want to throw out there before we talk about a couple of player movement is ESPN released on their Instagram, their social media platform. They released the top 50 of all time. Everybody's been saying what they weighed in, but a lot of people have had a hard time in the top 50 with certain people in their top 50. They had a hard time with Russell Westbrook, Giannis, Chris Paul, and AD. Now, do you think talent, Russell Westbrook, Giannis, Chris Paul, or AD should be in the top 50 NBA players, best NBA players all time?
That's a tough one.
Okay.
I can see the argument for it, but I probably wouldn't. I would squeak it out past 50. I don't think I would put him in the 50, but I could see the argument for it. But no, not for me. No.
For me, I don't think Russell Westbrook should be in the top 50. Giannis should be in the top 50. Chris Paul or AD. I don't think none of those four should be in. Or ESPN, Fig. ESPN has him in the top 50 NBA best players of all time. All time.
You gotta win, man. None of those guys are, with the exception of AD this year, in the COVID season, he's a little young in the game. He didn't win anything in New Orleans. Chris Paul never won anything. Giannis, a couple of MVPs. Russell got, 3 years in a row where he got a triple, average a triple-double. But the best of all time, this is what the top 50 players all time. Are they knocking out the old? Yeah, are they knocking out the old top 50 players and replacing some of them with these guys?
Bingo. That's exactly what they do. They replace.
That's
what I have a problem with. I think the problem is Russell Westbrook. I don't think Russell Westbrook honestly is in the top 75. To be honest with you, I think he's good, but not even top 75. I don't think I had the biggest problem with him. Like
I can't give it. Listen, Chris Paul has been on some great. Look, when he was at the Clippers, they had a squad. They had a young DeAndre Jordan. Blake Griffin. They had some teams.
Right.
Lob City. They didn't even get past Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
I can't listen. When you was thinking about those guys, they dominated. The top 50 players dominated the game on every level. You know what I mean? I don't know who you're knocking out to replace them with these guys. I think it's look. I guess this generation needs their representation in the top 50. But I've seen other players. I've seen old school basketball. I know the rules change, so I don't see it.
I don't either.
And certainly not Giannis, because the best players play greatest at the highest level. Win or lose, the greatest players are at their greatest on the biggest stage. Giannis melted down like 3 years in a row. How you gonna put
that for me? And that's for me is what knocked out Russell Westbrook immediately off the top, because of how bad he played this year, how bad he played last year when the playoffs were coming through. I was up in arms with that one. But let's move this conversation along and talk about James Harden has now added the Bucks and the Heat to his list of teams he's willing to go to, and we seem like we're talking about him and Giannis every single day because again, the NBA is getting ready to start. The NBA preseason starts tomorrow, but again. Management in Houston is feeling the pressure, but I think literally, and I could be wrong, but I think literally James Harden is starting to see that he ain't going to get traded, bro. I'm starting to feel now that he might not get traded because he's now expanding his circle. You know what I mean? So what do you think, Talent?
I think it's still up in the air. I don't think it's definite that he's not going to get traded. I think that again, these guys are pushing their weight around, seeing what they can do. What are the limits? I think this is the what are the limits year, and I think that's a classic way to describe what James Harden's doing. He's testing, trying to see what the limits are, what he can and can't do, what he can get them to do or not do, and I think it ain't over yet.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, but when you start expanding your pool, right, Fig? When you start expanding your pool, you realize that it ain't happening the way you think it's gonna happen. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, man, I think like Talon said, he's testing the limits of the water. It's like a little kid throwing a tantrum and seeing who he can get away with. If he can get away with his mother or his father, he's like, what can I get away with? But I'll tell you one thing. If Harden goes to Milwaukee, man, his first team was OKC, warm climate. He's in Houston, warm climate. If he ends up in Milwaukee, he ain't going to be feeling the heat. That's all I'm trying to say. Miami is not bad. It's another warm climate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He go to Milwaukee. But I would love, to be honest with you, man, think about that. Think about James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the same team, maybe with a Chris Middleton. I don't know who they're going to have to get rid of, but you got Chris Middleton. Wow.
It'd be a tough team to beat if everything somewhat stay together. I mean, it'd be a tough team to beat. Let's move the conversation along. I saw a clip last night, and I wanted to bring this out to you guys. I saw a clip last night of Bol playing. Tall Bol. He's like 7'3", 7'4".
Manute's son.
Yeah, Manute Bol's son. He has gained a little bit of weight. You know what I mean? He is now has developed a pure jumper, and he was hitting a couple of threes. He looked phenomenal. You know what I mean? And it looked like the conversation I saw in the clip last night was the Denver Nuggets are sitting there deciding talent whether or not that he should be in the starting lineup, and they are sitting there saying that he might start this year. Now I'm gonna ask you, talent, the way Denver has been progressing every single year, they made it to the Western Conference Final last year. But adding Bol, do you think they're able to literally get to the finals and be able to surprise somebody and maybe knock off the Lakers or knock off whoever they're going to meet if they even get that far? What do you think?
No.
You just said no.
Here's the thing. They already done set everything up for the usual suspects to go back to chip. Now, remember I tell you this. The only surprise teams that may disrupt that, have the capabilities of disrupting what's already in play, are the Nets, and again, Miami, because they just went. Other than that, you're going to see the Lakers and Clippers come out as favorites again. You're going to see Milwaukee, like I said, Miami, come out as favorites over there again. You're going to see a slight dip down from places like Toronto, your team, Boston. You're going to see a slight step taken aback. And those usual suspects are going to be in the premier fight for the chip. So anybody outside of those teams that I mentioned, they're going to keep it interesting and give you some entertainment when they get back in the bubble. But the chip, nah.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'll say this. Denver surprised me last year. They surprised me the year before that. They surprised me the year before that because out of all the NBA teams, they are one of those teams that is definitely progressing in the right direction every single year. Every single year. So the natural progression would be that they would make it to the finals if they continue to do what they're doing. So I guess the same question to you, Fig. Where do you expect the Denver Nuggets to be at the end of the year? Do you think Bol will help them get to the finals and surprise and knock out somebody? Because again, I saw the clip last night. That dude was blocking all kinds of shots. He was hitting all kinds of threes. He was down low. I was like, what? I was like, wow, that's Bol. He didn't look nothing like he did a year ago. Great progression for that player.
I think, here's the thing. I think most people outside of the NBA would think of Bol. When they think of him, they think of his father. They think of Manute, slim, not really mobile, no handle, very good defense. Manute Bol played real good defense. You know what I mean? Could clog up the middle. Bol is a different player. Right. He's from a different generation. He has a handle. He plays defense, and I think they brought him along slowly and gave him an opportunity to develop. So he was like I saw a little bit of Bol last year, and I was like, yo, this kid looked like he could be something. Him and Bol and Taco Falls too. Both of those players look like, if they give them a little bit of time to develop, they might be able to contribute nicely to their teams. I think that this kid, he might be a nice addition. He's hard to plan for. It's hard to guard 7 feet. He could score around the basket, and like you said, he shoots 3-pointers, and he has a decent little handle. He ain't no point guard. He's not AD, but he can handle a ball enough to be able to get to the hole and shoot over people. I think he can make a nice contribution to Denver with what they have in there. I think that they will definitely make it to the top 8. I like Denver and Dallas to make it to the top 8 in the West.
Listen, if he adds some muscle, if he adds 15 to 25 pounds of solid muscle, everything else, he will be the scariest NBA center the league has ever seen. I'll tell you that right now, especially the way he's playing, because he has handle and he can shoot. It's already a given he can do what he does down low. And
I go you guys again talking about these big men handling balls. I tell you, man. Let's stay within the sports, guys. It's a family sports show. You can handle balls. Come on, man.
Let me just say this before we move on. Let me say this. I saw a news item. I just wanted to mention that it was like a historic thing to mention right now. The Atlanta Hawks is the first NBA team and the first professional team of any professional sports to secure financing with Black-owned banks. They were able to secure financing for $35 million to the Emory Sports Medicine Complex. Now, you got to give those dudes, Atlanta Hawks, you have to give them a standing clap ovation. Like, that is amazing and it's a historic moment. I just wanted to mention that. If you all want to say something about that real fast, floor is yours.
I mean, the climate right now is for that. I mean, kudos to them, hats off to them, standing ovation and all that good stuff. But it's way overdue. And I tell you one thing, with the climate being what it is right now, no one has an excuse not to do things like this.
Yeah, and Fig, I'll say this. I don't know why people worried about black or white, because the really color that really matters is green, right?
Absolutely.
Whoa.
You know,
whoa. That's a trick question. Fig, don't answer that. That's a Boston Celtic. That's a
Hey, listen, you know, banks giving black entrepreneurs an opportunity to have a seat at the table to be able to do business with major corporations is a major step. I think that was something that was long overdue, like Talent said, and I think it's great. And a perfect city to have something done like that is Atlanta, because they have a lot of black businesses in Atlanta. You know, that's where Tyler Perry Studios is, and that's like a city all to itself. So kudos to the Hawks doing business with people in a city where the majority of people are African American. So
you can't knock that. You can't knock that. Now I got to keep the conversation moving on, because I do want to talk about the NFL in the next 10, 15 minutes, because we got a lot to cover with them. Last night I was going across the boards last night, and again, we always talk about the Lakers, because it seems to me, and after doing a lot of research last night, the Lakers are the ones who, believe it or not, they're the most active. Rob Pelinka has been literally contacting almost all the teams and talking to a lot of NBA free agents. The name now that got sorted out, there's two names that floated out: Trevor Ariza and George Hill. Now, it looks like Trevor Ariza is under contract right now, but he's about to become a free agent. He's under contract with OKC. Now, when you mentioned the name Trevor Ariza going to the Lakers, I don't know if that's a great fit, because he's older. He's not as young as he used to be. I don't know if they need that kind of older player. You know what I mean? I think they already got that kind of player on their team. I don't know if he fits with them. I don't know. But what's your thought process, Talent, when you hear about the name Trevor Ariza?
Trevor Ariza fit everywhere, bro. He's one of those guys. Like, we have certain players in the league that they just accent your team when you put him there. He's one of those all-purpose players. So wherever we see him go, he's never done that. He's always accented the team. So you put him on the Lakers, that's all he's going to do. He don't have to start. You bring him off the bench, he's a spark. I put him, your boy Williams and the Clippers, and the Rondos and all those guys and those type of players, they accent wherever they go. They're utility guys, all-purpose guys.
So don't you think he's already an older version of Kyle Kuzma? They already got that kind of player on the bench.
No, but you got to realize he's an older version, but his physique and his agility is different. You worry about older players when they're bigger, not smaller. You worry about smaller players that get older later than you do the bigger guys, because when you're bigger, weight and getting up and down the court. These little guys, these slashers or point guards, they got a longer longevity.
I get your point, Greg. Do you agree with what he's saying?
I don't. The George Hill thing is a little sketchy, because LeBron had problems with George Hill. I think that was the point where he passed the ball when they were going to Golden State, and he missed one of those layups, and then later on, J.R. Smith got the rebound and ran the clock out.
Yeah,
had LeBron James on fire. But Trevor Ariza is a knockdown three-point shooter. He's long. He plays defense, and he's a veteran. Those are the kind of players, believe it or not, those are the kind of players that LeBron James likes. He likes shooters. He likes guys that play defense, and he doesn't really like young players. He likes veterans. Trevor Ariza would be a perfect addition to the Lakers to go along with LeBron James, because that's the kind of player that he likes. And last but not least, broke my heart because the Knicks drafted him, and I hated the fact that they got rid of that dude, because I saw he was going to be really good.
Yeah, you know, we already know about what's going on with the Knicks. You are listen. We're not going to even discuss. We ain't going to discuss the Knicks. Let's leave the Knicks out of this. Okay, let's leave the Knicks out of this.
There we go.
Let me talk about this. I also saw on the boards and stuff last night because it looks like Sports Talks Radio in Miami has released the news that the Miami Heat has been in contact with the Portland Trailblazers and offering them everything to see if they can get Dame Lillard to pair up with Jimmy Butler. Everything. Now, I guess the question would be whether or not Portland would be willing to give up Dame Lillard and take a couple of Miami, according to what I heard, has offered 2 second-round picks and maybe 1 first-round pick for over the next couple of years to see if they get Dame Lillard. And now, whether or not that's happening or gonna happen, I don't see it happening because I don't see that Portland would even be willing to get rid of Dame. I just don't see it happening. But when I say Miami's offered up everything for Dame Lillard to pair him up with Jimmy Butler, I mean, it's we'll see. What's your thought process on that?
I cannot see Portland parting ways with Dame at this moment. I actually think that's the reason that Melo got re-signed there. I think with the notion that we're going to have Dame come back.
Right.
You know, if Dame's not coming back, I don't see them signing Melo. I think they sign him because he goes along good with Dame. I can't see it because you would have to be, if you're not swapping a Dame Lillard for a top 5 player, you're rebuilding. If you swap him for anything less than one of the top 5 players in the league, you have officially said you're rebuilding.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fig, what you think?
Man, I can't see Portland getting off that kid, man. Him or CJ, man. Those dudes, that's their whole squad. Their whole squad is CJ and Lillard. But in the event that this happens, problem.
Yeah, I mean,
Miami made it to it was in the COVID and in the bubble and stuff like that. But they did make it to the finals and they lost Dragic, you know what I mean? Dragic, which was their playmaker and their scorer. You imagine replacing Dragic with Dame Lillard and have him over there with Jimmy Butler?
But the problem is if they get rid of Dame Lillard, they will officially go backwards and start rebuilding again. And that will make the team, I think, implode because they already have some veterans who are looking to try to at least cash out and go as far as they can, like Melo, who's literally coming back. It would probably be his last season. I don't think they should do it. I don't think they should do it.
I can't believe Fig said the words "in the event." The last time I heard that was the emergency broadcast system. In the event of a real emergency, you will be instructed. What?
This is a test. This is
an emergency broadcast.
Speaking of emergency, I got to bring up the Dallas Cowboys, man. Did you either one of you all watch the Sports Center this morning? Anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. Let me just tell you, in case you didn't watch it, you can't see everything else. The Sports Center and of course Get Up and these guys, they all made excellent points I was trying to make and have made over the last couple of days about talking about Dak Prescott's value went up tremendously. Now, here's what happened in the last 24 hours, in case people didn't realize. You watched it, you didn't realize. The Dallas Cowboys were scheduled to have a Sunday night game, Sunday night football, primetime, 8 o'clock game against the 49ers. It got flexed out. So that right there is a loss of a lot of money for, of course, the Dallas Cowboys and sponsorship and all those other stuff. They literally lost a lot of money. So now you have to sit there and look at the situation saying, wow, for the network to say, we don't want them, we want to switch them out. The network has even agreed the Dallas Cowboys are going in the other direction. So Dak Prescott has now been sitting there saying, the Dallas Cowboys, when I was playing, before I was hurt, Cowboys was in the top 5. We might have lost some games, but we were in the top 5 of earning some points. Now the Cowboys are in the bottom 2. If you're Dak Prescott right now, how you feeling, talent? And do you come back to the Dallas Cowboys? Let's be honest, because people are saying this morning, you know what? If you're Dak Prescott, you shouldn't even come back to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that got to feel good. It's the Cowboys that feel bad. You are no longer America's team.
Let me just say this real fast. Paul George just signed an extension with the Clippers, $226 million for the next 5 years. We'll talk about that in a second. Wow. Literally, I just see the news. But go ahead, Talon, you were saying?
I don't know. I feel like that somebody opened the door and I was on the toilet. Damn, that was crazy. I think Dak got to be feeling great. Like we said a week ago, we seen the direction where this was going. It still remains the same. I'm telling you that probably the most stubborn dude in the NFL is Jerry Jones.
I tell you.
So it still remains to be seen where this ends up being. We all know, the fans all know, football knows. Damn it, the world knows because the TV network said we don't want to hear that. Yeah. The TV network, see, Frank, you told half the story. They don't want to air that game. Did you know they're playing Cinderella 1 and 2 in that time slot? They X'd out the Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco, and said, we're going to do a repeat of Cinderella, the new version, 1 and 2. And if we could squeeze in the Princess and the Frog, that'd be lovely. That got to be feeling like $1 billion.
Dak Prescott has got to be feeling real good right about now because the money he thought he was going to get, he going to make more. When people were talking about saying, if he goes, let's look at it. If he could go to Washington and max out, Indianapolis, Chicago, New Orleans, he could go a lot of other places.
San Francisco.
Yeah, he could go there too. So, Fig, if you Dak Prescott right now, how you feeling and what you think about, would you even come back to the Cowboys?
Well, I'm not sure if it's within Dak's, if he has the ability to make that decision. I think he's really like the Cowboys can really hold on to him for one more year if they want to put the franchise tag on him, which I think is about somewhere between 37 and 40 million for this upcoming season. They could literally hold on to Dak for one more year, but I would be out on them if I was Dak because clearly Jerry don't believe in him. That's the whole thing. When you pay these quarterbacks that got these, exorbitant amount of money on their contracts is because the franchise, the organization believes in you. Jerry offered him something and it wasn't to his liking. And then Dak said, I'll take the money, but I don't want to be stuck in a contract for 5 years. Give me that money, but let's do it for 4 years and give me an opportunity to prove myself again. And Jerry is trying to hold on him to 5 years. They're trying to get a discount. I wouldn't want to be there if I was Dak Prescott. I'd want to go almost anywhere other than a team that doesn't believe in me. I believe in going where you celebrate it, not tolerate it. And last but not least, Paul George got $228 million. Johnny, you better get in shape. Get in shape, G. We can make millions.
We'll talk about that later. Talk about that later. So, Town, Jimmy Jones messed up, right? So Jimmy Jones officially messed up, would you say?
Yeah, but here's the thing. And contrary to Fig's belief, I don't think that he doesn't believe in him, Fig. This is just how this man does business. He's very cheap, and he exercised the cheap side with us, with the players of color. So he will milk it for every little thing he can get for how long he can get it. Not that he don't believe it. He knows exactly what he got. But he also knows when you play, trust me, when he tried this from the original two seasons ago when they were supposed to renegotiate and do the extension, he knows the type of guy that Dak is. He knew he could get away with these years, and he did.
Yeah, but he has to be sitting there saying, I think we messed up because the value of the money that they were going to get him for, it went up. The value of Dak Prescott right now has gone up at least by $5 million, maybe $10 million. It's gone.
But he would rather take that chance, Frank, than to pay that money back then. That's how you operate.
Yeah,
This is not the first fluke of a payment that this man has made. Every bona fide player that's worth talking about on a sports show that's played with Dallas of color went through this.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask one question. I just ask you this. I hear what you're saying. You think if he had Patrick Mahomes, Jerry would have did Patrick Mahomes the same way?
Probably.
Is that a light-skinned question?
No,
I'm confused.
It's a talent question.
Okay.
Not the name talent, but based on their talent.
Let me tell you why. The reason why I do believe that is because if you put Mahomes on there, right? Let's just say he had Mahomes instead of Dak. But it's the state of the team. It's not the state of the player. So if the team still is not Super Bowl worthy, right? They didn't get a chip in all those years, he would have played it exactly the same way. Now, if he got Patrick Mahomes and they're getting chips, oh, that's a different Jerry Jones. You know what I mean? Look, that happened with Emmett. He did it with Emmett and Irvin.
Yeah, but here's the situation. If you swap Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes, they still not winning because the problem is not the quarterback. The problem is the team around the quarterback. You know what I mean? You can't tell me. You can't tell me if you put Patrick Mahomes in there, they would have won a Super Bowl because they wouldn't. He wouldn't have a Kelsey. He wouldn't have a Hill. He wouldn't have all the wide receiver. He wouldn't have that. So he wouldn't have won.
That's my point. But you just made my point. Like I'm looking at it like you're swapping the quarterback, but you didn't change the championship structure. Yes, you're going to get the same reaction from Jerry Jones.
And that's exactly my point. I don't think you get this. It literally it's the same thing, and the same thing will play out.
We're saying the same thing, Frank. I just don't have on glasses, so nobody's believing me.
You know, the thing is that the Dallas Cowboys are clearly a better team with Dak as the quarterback because after he got injured, they fell completely off a mountain, completely off the cliff as soon as he got injured. Yeah, so I'm not saying they would be Super Bowl worthy, but they would be better than they are.
So Fig, do you think Jerry Jones is sitting there this morning, like right now this morning, and hearing the news that they got flexed out from Sunday Night Football, and then everybody else around him telling him, hey, you better do something, Now that the network has spoken, do you think Jerry Jones realizes that, you know what, you better do something to lock this dude up? Do you think that's my question.
Yeah, because the one thing that billionaires understand, I don't care black, white, what you said before, they really understand green. And the fact that he's not on a primetime show, and a primetime night on TV, that cost Jerry some money. And that's what Jerry definitely understands, losing money. And that's something billionaires or millionaires, rich people do not like to do. They do not like to lose money. And you only losing money is because your team is not good.
Right. And again, it's America's team. They got flexed out of Sunday Night Football. People were looking forward to that all season long before the COVID thing. We all know that all the sponsorship packages that was put together in the summertime, maybe even a year and a half ago, when they said, okay, Cowboys are going to play Sunday night on December, whatever Sunday's date is.
But who are they playing? Who were they supposed to play, Frank?
49ers.
Now, let me just tell you this. Both of those teams are sorry.
Yeah, they are.
Now, here's the thing. Not only are you costing Dallas money, you also costing money to the team that was supposed to play you because they're both missing out on that money.
Right. But also, it's supposed to be in Dallas, so Dallas is losing out money from around the vicinity, in the community, all of that. I mean, it's affecting everything. They didn't get moved from Sunday Night Football to 1 o'clock. It's a big difference.
But Cinderella is getting that bag.
Only Tally would say that. Yes, Cinderella getting it.
Yeah, man, let me tell you something. Glass slippers all around the country the prices are going through the roof.
Last question about Dak Prescott, right? Do you see Dak Prescott playing out the rest of the next 5 years, in the Cowboys town? Do you see him there? Do you see him going somewhere else? Because I'm going to say this before you answer this. I'm going to say this. Washington, Washington is stepping up right there, and they got a boatload of money. You got Washington, you got Chicago, and maybe 2 or 3 other teams with a boatload of money that can literally offer him the money that he's asking for right now. That's why.
So you're telling me that you believe that Washington, as an example, is already about to jump the Alex Smith ship?
Yeah, I think because Alex Smith's only got a year or 2 left. Yeah, I think they would. And if they could get Dak Prescott, I think they would put Alex Smith on the bench, have him be, coming off the bench, and Dak Prescott starting. Because again, Dak could get hurt again. You never know. I think they would too. And they got a lot of money. And they paid nothing for Alex Smith. They got him on literally the cheapest contract, like a Cam Newton contract.
I know, but I don't see them. I don't see Washington grabbing him, but I also don't see him staying with the Cowboys.
Well, I use Washington as an example. I said a couple of other things. But
I see him. I don't see the best thing for him, man, is to leave.
Yeah, that's what I said. The question really is to you is, will he leave? And I'm asking you, do you think he's going to stay there and be a Cowboy for the next 4 or 5 years, or he's going to leave? And I think you said he's going to leave.
Hey man, listen, let me preface this by saying I'm sorry to say this, but I got to say this. I think he won't leave. I think he's soft.
Wow.
I think when it comes to negotiation and taking chances, for whatever reason, just watching these last 2 years, negotiations not go for him and Jerry, I think he's soft. And I think Jerry knows he's soft. And I think he's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be that risk taker to say, you know what, let me go to Washington. Let me go to this team, get this money. I think he's going to stay there.
Okay. I can't disagree with that because, I'm not Dak Prescott. Fig, do you think he's going to stay there for the next 4 or 5 years?
Well, first off, I don't think soft works. Sears went out of business. The softer side of Sears went out of business. So Sears filed bankruptcy. But no, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think he's soft. I think he bet on himself because he played out his rookie contract, and I think he felt like he deserved more. And the fact that he bet on himself again and sort of lost because he got injured, I think is I don't think he's I really don't think he's soft. He may.
Can you hear him? Talent, can you hear him? Can't hear him.
No.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I had a call come in. I'll but the thing is, what I'm thinking
I'll
about
call you
Dak
later.
is,
My bad. I'll call you later.
okay, cool. Appreciate that. So what I think is, I think if Jerry gets up off that bag, I think Dak stays.
Okay.
If Jerry is still haggling over these few $1 million and stuff like that, I think Dak does whatever he can to get out of there. I think he may stay around for that next because if he doesn't sign a major deal, Jerry got to get off of that money. He got to sign that contract for next year, which is like somewhere between 37 and 40 million just for next year. And I don't think that Jerry wants to do that. So if he doesn't give Dak the long-term contract that he wants in the amount of years that he wants, I think Dak is out of there. And Washington would be a great place, man, because there are arch rivals. Washington and Dallas. Imagine Dak going to Washington and ball out.
Yeah, because Washington, you know what? Washington got everything but a great quarterback. Yeah, Alex Smith is an okay quarterback right now. He's helping to do it, and they're getting their flow together and everything else. And Washington is going to surprise a lot of people because they're getting ready to make a run.
We talk about a lot of stuff on the box seats, man.
Nice mother.
Well, we got to be ready to do the picks, man, because I want to talk about the top seed. I want to jump in and
sir.
Paul George before you roll up out of here. But we got to do the picks real fast.
Hold on. Let me get myself together.
You ready to get yourself together because the picks? Because the NFL season is continuing to roll on. Let's see. The games. There's a game tonight. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna jump in real fast and say, I got the Patriots playing the Rams tonight. I already know I got that out. So Fig, who you got tonight? The Patriots playing the Rams.
No, not tonight. Not against the Rams, baby. Not on Thursday night. Both of these teams are playing for their playoff lives.
Right.
And I believe in Belichick and I believe in the Patriots way, but they just don't have enough weapons for me, man. I'm going with the Rams tonight.
Okay. All right. Talent. Who you going with the Patriots? Cam Newton's coming off an amazing game where they destroyed the Chargers last week. They stayed in LA the whole week. They practiced all week in LA in warm weather.
Patriots.
Yeah, you got the Patriots? Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the Patriots. Minnesota Vikings is playing at Tampa Bay. I don't think anybody here is gonna pick Minnesota and watch Minnesota win. You know what I mean? Because we all pick them, so watch they win. I don't know. But officially, let me ask: Minnesota is playing Tampa Bay. Town, who you got?
Tampa.
Okay, and Fig, who you got?
I'm going with Tampa Tom.
Now I'm with Tampa. Arizona is playing the Giants. I'm gonna take the Giants. I'm going out on the limb and taking the Giants. What about you, Talent?
Giants.
Fig?
Nah.
Now what? Who you think?
Arizona, man.
Now what?
I want the Giants to win, but I'm going with Arizona. Kyler Murray. They still don't have Daniel Jones. They're going with Colt McCoy again. I'm not sure if he could get him over the hump with Kyler Murray.
They said this morning Daniel Jones is playing.
Still, he's gimpy. I'm going with Kyler Murray.
Kansas City.
You can't heal from a hamstring in a week.
Kansas City is playing at Miami. I'm taking Kansas City. I think they're going to destroy Miami. I don't even think it's going to be that close because I think Kansas City's trying to figure out. No, they got to put some stuff in motion right now because it's getting ready to be playoffs. So I got Kansas City over Miami. Fig, who you got?
I'm going with Kansas City, man. I think they're going to put Tua back on the bench.
Yeah, I think so too. How about you? Now, Kansas City,
Kansas City.
Tennessee is playing at Jacksonville. I'm going with Tennessee.
Titans.
Yeah. How about you, Fig?
Take me to another place because I'm still thirsty. Tennessee.
Okay. Dallas Cowboys is playing Cincinnati Bengals. I'm taking Cincinnati.
Who playing Cincinnati?
Dallas Cowboys is playing Cincinnati. Oh, I thought they were playing 49ers. Dallas Cowboys is playing Cincinnati Bengals.
I got Cincinnati.
No, hell no. Cincinnati, no. I'm going with Dallas.
Okay. Houston is playing at Chicago. I think I'm going to take Houston.
I'm going to take Chicago.
Okay. Fig, who you taking?
Houston at Chicago, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go up with Houston.
Okay, you go with Houston? Okay. Denver's playing at Carolina. I think I'm going to take Denver. That's a toss-up game. I think I'm going to take Denver.
Carolina.
Yeah. You started see how the brains are starting to work there. I can see the smoke over both of your heads. Like
it is a toss-up game.
It's a toss-up game. But Denver's playing at Carolina, but I'm still going to
take Denver.
Yeah. Fig, who you taking?
I'll go with Denver.
Okay. The Jets are playing Seattle. You know what? That could be a trap game because Seattle ended up losing last week. That could be a trap game. And the Jets could end up because they played the Raiders real good last week.
Where they playing at?
They're playing at Seattle.
Hold on.
Yeah, Seattle.
Seattle? Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
I got Seattle.
Sierra? Yeah. What's up with Russell this week?
What's up with Russell?
All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I'm going with Seattle. Russell's going to be good this week. Talk to Sierra.
Okay. The Colts are playing the Raiders. That's a toss-up game. The Colts are playing the Raiders.
Go with the Raiders. Look for the Raiders to bounce back. Give me the Raiders.
Bounce back. They won. They beat the Jets last week real well.
Yeah, but they didn't look good at all. That was a fluke end of the game play. You shouldn't even been in a dance like that with the Jets.
Yeah, I think
look for them to bounce back and take control.
I think what's his name is going to be really.
I think John Gruden had them running suicides all.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders.
I'm gonna take the Raiders too. I think I gotta take the Raiders. Washington is playing San Francisco.
Ooh, now that's a toss up. Two Reds.
Yeah. I like Washington.
You like Washington? I'm going with San Francisco. How about you, Fig?
I'm going with Washington because Jimmy is down at the penthouse headquarters. He ain't playing. So I'm going with Washington.
The New Orleans Saints are playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nah,
I'm going with the Saints.
Of course.
Yeah, man. They're going to go down there and get some of that gumbo. They're going to be farting on the field, carrying on. I'm going with the Saints.
Atlanta Falcons is playing against the L.A. Chargers. I am taking the Chargers. L.A. Chargers.
Chargers, you're right.
I'm going with the Falcons.
Okay. Green Bay is playing at Detroit. I'm taking Green Bay.
I don't care where Green Bay play. I'm taking Green Bay.
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's another rivalry game. Green Bay, Detroit.
Yeah.
But I'll go. I'll trust
I don't
Aaron.
care if they play at Blue Bay.
Okay.
I'm going with Aaron. In the frozen tundra.
Pittsburgh is playing at Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. I think Buffalo is getting ready to beat them too.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Who are you taking, Fig? That's a great game. Can't wait to see that one.
When is that one?
When? It looked like that's the game that they got replaced Sunday night.
Next week.
It's
Buffalo, but next week, yes. Next week. I'm going with Buffalo, man. That's a tough one, man. I'm expecting
really ain't.
I'm expecting Ben and Pittsburgh to bounce back, man. But I still
not against Buffalo.
At home, I'll go with Buffalo.
I'll tell you this right now. For the record, I would be rooting all day for Pittsburgh to beat them because we need Buffalo to lose for the Patriots to make it to the playoffs. But I think Buffalo's going to beat Pittsburgh.
Holy crap.
Baltimore is playing Cleveland on Monday night. I think Cleveland is going to beat up Baltimore. I got Cleveland. Cleveland look real good, and they putting everything together. They got their running game coming together. Of course, the quarterback is putting things together besides doing his commercials.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I got Cleveland.
Who you got, Fig?
Look at that fake.
Fig. Going with Baltimore, man.
Baltimore? Okay.
Going with the Ravens.
All right. For the record, you all heard what he said.
He crazy. Fig, just so you know, there's no light-skinned dudes on the Ravens. Just so you know, I don't want to change his thoughts, but
yeah, he's thinking his thoughts. Speaking of
changing with Baltimore, man.
Speaking of changing thoughts, let me jump back into the NBA real fast because there was some breaking news while we were on the air. The breaking news is that Paul George signed a contract extension with the Clippers that will guarantee him as much as $226 million over the next 5 years. Now, we all thought, because we've been hearing the boards and we've been paying attention to the rumors and everything else, we all thought that Paul George was going to be traded, one of the trading commodities that the Clippers was looking at. I think since the coach left now, I think management changed their mind and decided to go with Paul George for the long haul. I think they're blaming Doc Rivers for the collapse and not the team. So, with that being said, Talent, what you think about this?
Why? One word. Why? Like, why? You had an opportunity to escape this dude, and you sign him up for 5 years for a boatload of more money. Well, only thing I could hope for, bro, because I don't wish bad on nobody. I pray for the good. I pray that he finds himself and gives us the old Paul George with this season coming forward, because that guy disappeared all the way. And
he did.
Yeah, so maybe they see something we don't see, Frank.
Maybe their coaches going to be able to do something more than what we thought. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're getting ready to add another piece or two. I don't know. Fig, when you hear that they locked in with him for the next 5 years for a huge contract, maxed out contract. Now, they didn't have to do it this year. When you hear about that, what you think?
I'm going to tell you like this. Talent said he hopes he finds himself. And I'd like to quote this dope song that we used to listen to back in the day is, "You can't hide from yourself because everywhere you go, there you are."
That's very true. That's very true. Now, before you get
hold on. Let me tell you. You know what I think? You know what I think is going to happen? This sounds crazy. I know it is, but if you give one of your players $228 million and there's another max player on another team, that's an equal swap. And I think the reason that they gave Paul George that money, they have an opportunity to swap him, trade him for another max player on another team and get another player on the Clippers. Now, let me ask you this. If Giannis signs the max contract, doesn't he get $228 million also?
Around that time, yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, around that. But the thing is, they'd have to want to make that trade. I don't know if Milwaukee want to do that. And, I don't know.
As long as the money is equal, they can add whatever they want to sweeten the pot, but the money got to be equal with the players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that. But my last question before you roll up out of here, since we talk about the NBA, is Kevin Love we've been talking about Kevin Love to Golden State. Now, guess who jumped in? And it will be no surprise, but guess who jumped in the Kevin Love sweepstakes was Miami. Now, I say all the time, if a player gets on the plane and he go to Miami, he ain't coming back. You can laugh, but you know I'm telling the truth. It has not been one NBA player who got on the plane, went to Miami, and sat down with Pat Riley and said, "You know what? I need to go home and think about it." Not one. It hasn't been one, and that's been an NBA fact. So I'm gonna say this for the record: if Kevin Love, because he can, it's a trade thing. It's not like a free agency thing. But they want, if he happens to get on the thing and they say, "Hey, well, just go see what you think about Miami." If he goes there, I think he's gonna push management and say, "I want to play in Miami." That's my thought. What you think, Talent?
Well, first of all, that's a good fit. I like when I hear good fits with Kevin Love's name because you want it. He's a likable guy. He's a good, solid player, like Fig said. He was always that 2010 guy. You want to see him go somewhere. When these good players get to the 10-year of their career towards that veteranship, you want to see them, if they're going to hop around, to competitive teams. That's a good fit for him. You know what I mean? I can see that.
Okay. Fig, what you think?
I think anywhere but Cleveland.
Yeah.
Anywhere but Cleveland. If you go to Miami and your other choice is Cleveland,
I know. I
it's Miami every day.
I hope it won't be Boston. That's for sure. I don't want to see him in a Celtics uniform. I just
why? Kevin Love is a good player, man.
Yeah, but we already got his style type of player. I just don't want. I don't want another player. I want a center. The Celtics need a center. They need to do something to get a center.
Kevin Love played a little bit of center.
Yeah, a little bit, and he ain't playing it no more. He ain't playing no reason, no boy. He out rebounded, out boxed, out everything. Like, no, I don't.
That don't even sound good. He played a little bit of center.
Yeah, when he was with Cleveland, when LeBron James and Kyrie was there, that's when Kevin Love pretty much him and Tristan Thompson.
No. Yeah, but he don't want nobody to play a little bit of center. He want a center.
You want a lot of bit of center.
Yes. Because what happened?
You don't want a little bit of center. You want a lot of bit of center.
A little bit of center.
You know what? Because I don't want Bam Adebayo to come beat us when we get ready to go to the finals and be like, hold up. Let me just stop this right here. And then Bam Adebayo, and we looking around and we sitting there, everybody going home like, what happened? What happened was somebody blocked you going in for a dunk to win the game. That's what happened. No. I don't want that to happen no more.
Listen, Kevin Love is like he's like a Swiss Army knife, man. He can get rebounds. He can play a little bit of deep. He play a little bit of center. He knocks down 3-pointers too. He really is a nice shooter, man. A real nice 3-point shooter. You know, he'd be a nice addition, man.
He ain't that nice. He all right. Hey, how they say? He all right. I don't want him on the Celtics. So just call me a hater, but I don't want him on.
You. I was about to say you're a hater right now.
Yes, I am.
Is it Golden State trying to get Kevin Love also?
Yeah, it's Golden State, the Lakers in Miami.
Let him end up in Golden State and see what happens.
Yeah, he's a better fit for Golden State than he is the Celtics. He's a better fit for Miami than
he's not a good fit for the Celtics.
He's not a good fit for the Celtics.
Let me ask you this question, Frank. You should know this. What are they doing? What are the Celtics doing as far as I didn't hear nothing. Are they trying to make any moves?
Yeah, of course. But every move they're trying to make, people want Jaylen Brown or they want Jaylen Brown or they want the point guard. Oh my God, can't think of his name. Kemba Walker. And Celtics not giving up Kemba Walker, and they're not giving away to Jaylen Brown. You know what I mean? That they're not doing that. And they're building their forward. So they're trying to move forward. They're one Tristan Thompson center away from thinking that they're going to do something. So we'll see.
I think so.
Yeah, they one center away.
I think so.
We'll see. Anyway, that's the show because
Is that the show was over already? That's it.
That's the show. So Fig, are you ready for the top dogs tomorrow? Are we doing the top dogs tomorrow?
Yeah, man, we definitely doing the top dogs tomorrow, man. And I got a big surprise for the top dogs tomorrow, man. This will be the shocker.
The shocker is Derrick Henry ain't on it. That's the shocker. I see it.
Hold on.
I spoiled it.
Is Nate Robinson on your top dog? You disrespectful, yo.
Is it Mike Tyson?
Nate Robinson is doing commercials for Nitol. Because Nitol will help you get your Z's.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, y'all. We got to get real out of here, man. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you.
Hey, everybody. Follow your boy on Twitter at It's Just Comedy, Instagram, Talent the Comedian. And you can get me on Facebook at King Talent. It's just that simple. Or you catch me hanging out with Comedian Fig.
Yeah, boy. You can find your boy Fig on all social media platforms and Comedian Fig. Or I might be hanging in that dude, boy, Talent on his page. Boy, he got some stuff going on. And this segment has been sponsored to you by Klein Sleep. It lets you have more fun in bed with Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson and Klein Sleep. Have more fun in bed.
Disrespect.
Hilarious. Hey, y'all, you're watching the show, The Box Seats. We were supposed to have a couple guests this week, but I guess they had other things to do this week. But hey, we might, maybe tomorrow we might be able to get that one or two that we're trying to fit in. Might be able to do that. We're working on it. We'll let you guys know. Anyways, the show called The Box Seats. We are on the channel called The Humor Mill. And of course, we are on everything. You all be able to find us on everything. We're on all social media platforms. If you want to download the app, we appreciate it. You know, on Android or iOS. Tell your friend to tell a friend. Call your cable service provider. We got a couple other surprises coming next week with more guests and all that. Don't forget Top Dogs is tomorrow too, and maybe some more rumors. We got some stuff to talk about, right?
Get your human milk mug. Call Talent. Get in social media and get your human milk mug from Talent.
Yeah, Talent. I don't know what
is social media. We got the mugs, baby. You can sip your coffee or your tea while you're watching the box seats.
I don't know what Talent's prices are, but we'll see y'all tomorrow at the same bat time.
We got layaway.